Kisara is a devil that kisses Shu and takes his memories in exchange for unlocking her overpowered abilities. Shu is giving up every one of his memories until he is able to locate the devil that murdered his family in the cave 12 years ago. He goes around as a broke man and even has Ayano pay for his hotel stays. He teams up with Miles, his foster parent, and Mr. Mikami to find out who's been leaking information to Shu. Shu tells Ayano that he believes his sister may be alive, and Ayano seduces him by kissing and sleeping with him. Kisara has been living under a bridge since Ayano seduced Shu, and Ayano starts staying at his house. Sharon appears and searches for Kisara. She attacks Ayano's mom and Ayano, stealing her phone and heading for Shu. Kisara gets messages from Ayano, but it is apparent Sharon stole her phone. Shu heads home and his door gets knocked down, and Sharon is there ready to fight Shu. Shu gets in a defensive position, and Sharon launches a kick that he dodges. He attempts to attack her, but she already knows his moves. She gets on top of him with her legs on his face, telling him that she knows all of his attack moves as they were the same as Ayano's. She reveals that they last met 3 years ago when he took her to Cloud 9, and Shu is shocked. He says, "Who are you again?" Sharon gets mad and starts to beat the living crap out of him. Kisara comes in to save Shu by slashing her away. Sharon faces off against Kisara and appears jealous that Shu has forgotten her. She reveals that she has beaten Kisara once in the past, and memories from Kisara's mind play. She sees Sharon stabbing her in the back and Kisara begins attempting to attack her. Before she is able to kill Sharon, Shu shoots her in the head, and she is launched into the stone pillar. Kisara attempts to slash at Sharon, but Sharon dodges and prepares her own attack. Military personnel come with Ayano as their leader. Sharon runs away and Kisara goes to take care of Shu. Kisara is about to kiss him, but Ayano pulls her hair. Shu is dreaming and sees a spear inside of his sister as she begs for him to save her. He calls for Kisara and tells her to save Kana. She sucks out energy and they both disappear in front of his eyes. Sharon hijacks a ship and opens the constraints of it. She finds a suit of armor. Kisara explains the story behind Sharon to Ayano. She tells her that 3 years ago when Shu dumped her and came running to Kisara, there was another person in the cave. Sharon attempted to kill Kisara while Shu was attempting to break her seal. They forcefully pinned her down and penetrated her, and she whimpered at how the hard object entered her abdomen. Diggity. Sharon wanted her dead, but Shu needed her alive, so he was sleeping with Sharon while she was about to kill Shu. Shu used a poison to freeze her in place. Shu, however, has no memory of Sharon, just like how he doesn't remember sleeping with Ayano, because Kisara is the best girl. Plot develops. A lot of plot develops. Kisara heads inside a warehouse and Sharon begins to fire at her. She is now wearing a red mecha suit to make sure she is able to handle Kisara. Kisara rushes forward past the bullets and slashes down at Sharon. Sharon parries the hit and Kisara regenerates the lead bullets against her. Sharon releases her tentacles and they puncture Kisara. Ayano goes to give flowers to Shu, but finds him to be missing. Meanwhile, Kisara is attempting to run. She dodges the tentacles coming from the ground but falls as they ambush her. A slash goes deep into Kisara's abdomen and she falls over. As Sharon walks forward, an explosion comes and Shu holds onto Kisara. Kisara looks at Shu and asks him what his reason is for wanting her. Revenge against Demon, understanding who murdered his family, or saving his sister. Is she just a pawn for him? Shu kisses her and keeps kissing her to keep her quiet. He tells her to take his memories away from him, but she refuses. He tells her that he'd rather die before kissing a demon. He only does so because he doesn't love anyone else. He hugs her and she powers up, healing her wound. She powers up and lunges towards Sharon, destroying her armor. Kisara knows that she is being deceived and used by him, but she doesn't care. She will allow him to continue to have him deceive her until she dies, because she did this to him. She is the symbol of his downfall. She doesn't care about anything other than having him stay alive with her. To Kisara, every other woman can be destroyed. Shu asks her if that was too far going against a human. Kisara tells him that she has been living with him each and every day, and that she will go back to living with him. She removed his memories of when she was living under the bridge without him, because she is the best girl. Mr. Mikami is still attempting to find out who is supplying Shu with information and controlling the demon hazards behind the scenes. He creates a list of people who it could be and one of them happens to be Ayano. She walks in and finds out she's being investigated and gets mad at Shu. Ayano's mom and the mayor are also being investigated but call his accusations dumb. However, they do believe that the director of the police is likely the culprit, as no one knows who this person truly is and seems to strongly oppose demon hazards. Shu visits Sharon and tells her not to make any lewd noises as he has guns loaded in that department. He asks her if she happens to know the person who is behind all the demons in the city. She tells him that he truly doesn't remember anything, and that all memories are connected in some way. Even if Kisara takes small parts of them, he will lose the important things. She tells him that he asked her about Asmodeus, but Shu doesn't remember that at all. She tells him that he will soon not remember or feel anything once all his memories are taken away. She tells him that the guy who he is chasing is underneath his nose. He is the arsonist that is always at the scene of the fire. He is always where the demons are. Mr. Mikami is still attempting to solve this case, but Miles heads home after a long day. Mr. Mikami looks at his computer screen, and a person comes from the darkness. Mr. Mikami realizes who the culprit is and runs out of the office while the secret man watches. He attempts to call Shu in his car, but when Shu picks up, all he hears is Mr. Mikami getting in a car crash, and a bullet is fired. Shu goes to find him dead with 2 bullets inside of him. They find the coated man running and begin to chase him. He attempts to dodge them, but Kisara and Shu eventually corner him. He reveals he is the annoying brat, and he reveals he's actually the one highest in power in this city. Nobody gives a shit. Shu ties him up and questions him, but Mikhail tells him he will prove his innocence. He takes them inside the government building and goes upstairs. They enter the room and find out that every single aspect of this country is under surveillance. This corrupt government can see every single action that its citizens do. He is also the true head of the government. Shu goes to have coffee with Ayano to tell her about his discoveries, and sees something on her computer screen. At the funeral, he gives Mr. Mikami a flower and walks outside. Miles comes to give him a ride and they go together home. Miles and Shu talk about what they've gone through together ever since Miles adopted him, and how much they miss Mr. Mikami. Miles calls Mr. Mikami a true detective, but was soft-hearted and gullible. Shu asks Miles, "Is that why you killed him?" A light appears on his arm. Shu reveals that he realized this a long time ago, and teamed up with Ayano's mom to only get paid $1 for eliminating an eye-level demon. Sharon has escaped from her jail cell. Shu walks with Miles, confused about why he'd fall to a demon. Miles reveals that Mr. Mikami had always known more than Shu. Mr. Mikami had realized that Miles was always at all the demon hazards early, and never missed any of them. Even his daughter was miraculously cured from a nearly fatal disease when Shu's parents passed away. Miles reveals that he had teamed up with a demon to achieve his goals. Shu asks him to apologize to everyone and to Shu himself for deceiving them. Miles, however, doesn't regret a single thing. His body begins to transform and he becomes a giant demon. Shu cries, realizing that he has to kill him or other people will get killed. As Ayano is about to be murdered, Sharon comes in throwing her bike to save her. She attacks him and fends him off. Ayano gives her backup but then points her weapon at her. However, Shu makes it apparent that he has set her free on 2 conditions: her freedom and the memories of Miles. Shu tells Kisara to remove every single memory from Miles from him, but Kisara is worried about him as he may lose memory of so many more things. He doesn't care and kisses her. As Sharon and Ayano are about to be killed, Kisara comes in to defend his weapon. She rushes forward, clashing against Miles while he attempts to fend her off. His chains fly across the field, but Kisara holds him off. She runs, dodging his strikes until Shu wakes up. The remnants of his memories tell him that he killed Mr. Mikami. Kisara is attempting to end Miles and stabs him, but isn't strong enough to destroy him yet. He gets ready in a striking position and runs toward her. However, as he gets closer, she hears him say, "Please take care of Shu." He runs toward Shu with all his might. Shu readies his gun, saying, "Die, demon." He opens his weapon and fires. Miles' memories of watching Shu grow up begin to surface, and Miles' daughter is on the verge of dying. Shu's father has determined that the ore the country uses is drawing demons, and that he will go to investigate it. As Miles waits in the hospital, the door opens and a person tells him that his daughter will be saved. Miles understands that this person is a demon. He goes to Akino at the mine and tells her that he will take her place. Inside the mine, Shu's father is asking Shu's mother why she is about to murder him and her son. She tells him that their daughter is the daughter of a devil and a human. She will be the gate between the two worlds. Miles reveals that she is Asmodeus and takes Shu away. He hears an explosion coming and uses his demonic power to protect Shu from it. Together, they are the sole survivors of the explosion. Shu's father was the one who blew up the cave, and Miles lives on with the rest of his days, taking care of Shu as he watches him grow up. Kisara sucks those memories away, learning everything. She tells Shu that Miles said he's sorry, and as Shu yells this guy is evil, he stops, realizing that before he was killed, he said that he is sorry. Shu cries, not knowing why he is sad. Sharon is drinking alcohol in the lewdest way because she's a corrupt sister. Ayano yells at her and Kisara tells her the memories she saw from Miles, but doesn't reveal that Asmodeus was actually Shu's mom. Shu, however, doesn't remember how his dad died or why it happened. Kisara also doesn't reveal anything about Shu's sister. Sharon reveals that Asmodeus has been going on in this world for the last 150 years with different faces, and knows that Kisara is hiding something from her. Kisara and Sharon go away on a ship together. Kisara reveals that she will save Shu's sister with Sharon, and hands her a USB drive of information. Ayano goes with her best friend, who is the head of the police, on a car ride. She asks Linfa where the cave where Shu's died is because only the ocean remains in its place. The nun reveals that the locations Asmodeus has traveled to in Europe creates the demon emblem. Similarly, all the locations in Kisara's country where demons have spawned also resemble that emblem. They are heading to the last location, which happens to be the mine where Shu's father died. It is in a different place now because the whole country floated away from it to cover up the incident. Ayano has also realized this, but they are cornered by tanks and missiles. However, our knight in shining armor comes on a helicopter to save the day. Kisara has arrived at the cave and sees Kana, Shu's sister. As she is about to touch her, Sharon is ready to backstab her. Kisara will not let her kill Kana as she's Shu's only other family member. Mikhail decides to launch lasers from a satellite towards the mine before the gate opens. As Kisara and Sharon attack, power activates within Kana and an arm comes out. The laser launches at full power towards the city, leaving a giant explosion. However, nothing is damaged. A giant arm pierces the buildings and reaches to the sky. Asmodeus has awakened, and so has Kana. Sharon falls down attacking Asmodeus with all her might as Kisara gives her backup. Sharon, however, is destroyed, and Kisara begins getting attacked by a ghost that looks like Shu's mother. She is about to kill her, but Shu fires at her, not recognizing her as his own mom. Shu asks Kisara to take every last one of his memories to defeat it. Kisara, however, doesn't want to let this happen and gets stabbed in the chest. The one who stabbed her is none other than Shu's sister. As she bleeds out, she tells Shu to leave, and Sharon takes him away with her. When Kisara touches the rod, she sees Shu's memories of the nights he slept with Ayano, and when Sharon undressed for him. However, the only memory he has of her is the one where he's taking money from him because she lets him keep all the lewd memories with her. She gets ready to attack Kana, but at the last second, stops. Kana releases an explosion and Kisara falls to the ocean. Kana is ready to kill Shu, but Mikhail launches the laser again, stopping her in her tracks. He launches it a third time, and Kana falls to the ocean floor. They rescue Kisara and know it is only a matter of time before Kana wakes up again. Kana is now the only S-rated demon. Shu holds onto Kisara's hand begging for her to wake up. He asks her if he should just abandon everything, his friends, his city, his family, and flee with her and stay safe together. He wonders if he has a family, and Kisara wakes up and tells him that she doesn't care about any of that. She tells him to promise her that they'll escape together from this city, and he promises her that. She asks him if he needs his memories anymore, but he tells her that he'll give her everything, memory and soul. She kisses him. However, Shu starts to remember his memories. She kisses him again, holding him tighter. In his flashback, he remembers leaving Ayano and breaking up with her. He remembers teaming up with Sharon and tricking her, and how he attempted to create a contract with Kisara. He tells her that she will gain power by taking memories from him, and names her Kisara as that was the name of the first girl he had kissed. He makes a written contract with Kisara, and she reads all of it but can't find the supplement 263. She finds it hidden. It is a cancellation supplement. They create the ritual, but instead of touching his head, she kisses him and tells him that this ends the ritual. Shu is confused, as that's not what the contract was. He sees that the contract was changed to involve a kiss, and sees that supplement 263 was also changed. He can never cancel his contract with her unless she wants him to. The memories of his time with her flood his brain. All the times that were happy and sad took over him. She interlocks his hand and reveals that's what she changed the supplement of cancellation to. He looks at her and she asks him, Kana has awakened at this time. Shu realizes that he's gotten all his memories from Kisara back, even the time when he slept with a girl and paid for it using Ayano's card. What a Chad. He realizes that he even has memories that are not his own, but also Kisara's. He calls her Kisara, but she doesn't seem to remember that this was her name. He understands now that Kisara has been sacrificing her own memories to gain her power, and that she has not once deleted Shu's memories. She has forgotten what her own mother looks like just so that she can never harm Shu. Shu calls her an idiot, because now he knows everything including how she feels. She was giving a human pure profit this entire time because of how much she loved Shu. Shu promises that he will never flee from this city, but that he will be the one protecting her this time. He kisses her on the head, takes her sword, and leaves. Shu bought an item from the military. The military is attacking Kana, but are unable to do any damage. She doesn't retaliate at all, however, when Ayano fires, she begins to only attack her like all the demons have so far. She gets in front of Ayano, aims her hand at her, and fires. However, Shu has come in at the last second on his new hoverboard to protect her. Ayano realizes he regained his memories. He tells her that it wasn't cool how she seduced him. Kisara held a grudge about that since he has all her memories now. Ayano thinks that Kana is coming for Shu. However, Sharon comes to reveal that the demon is coming after Ayano as she is the girl who is always with her brother. Kana has been saying Shu's action for the past 12 years and how he was with a bunch of women constantly. She grew jealous over the years, as she was only trapped when she was 3 years old and grew sad at how she was trapped and never saw her brother but all these other women did. Sharon and Ayano get in position, and Shu faces off with Kana and she seems to have calmed down. He tells her that he's been looking for her so that he can save her. She aims at him. However, he is no longer willing to sacrifice everything just to be with her. He will attempt to save her along with all the people in his life. He is the only person in this world that lives together with a demon, but he will be sealing her away. Sharon's tentacles trap her, and Ayano fires a missile towards her. Shu floats towards her, ready to seal her away with Kisara's sword. Kana breaks free, and Shu misses. She creates her spear and clashes against Shu. Meanwhile, Kisara has left her bed. She continues aiming at Shu, but Shu parries her blow. She fires homing missiles at him, but Shu barely dodges these powers and loses his hoverboard. He clashes against her again, but she slashes him away from her. The tentacles come from behind, distracting Kana, and Shu takes this to his advantage. As it is about to end, Kana lets out a tear and causes Shu to hesitate. He gets punched down from the sky. Kisara looks at the battlefield and sees that her memory remnants told her to believe in him and fight together. Shu is knocked onto the ground, and as Ayano distracts her, a sword is picked up. Kisara is back on the field fighting. Shu tells her that Kana is his little sister, and they will seal her away using her sword while she is still alive. Sharon comes from the sky, kicking her down. Ayano fires at her along with the rest of the military. They weaken her, but then she summons a large plume of blue smoke. 3 demons appear from within and head towards the city. Sharon and the rest of the military go to deal with them, and Ayano's mom tells Ayano that Shu needs to settle this with his family members. Ayano is jealous when hearing Kisara is part of Shu's family, but decides to leave anyway. Shu asks her if she'll be able to do it, and asks her if she wants power. She says she wants courage more than power, and Shu grabs her face, kissing her. Kana sees them kissing and unleashes her power. Shu has obtained a powerful bullet. Kisara clashes against Kana as Shu attempts to get into position. He tells Kisara to bring her to him. She rushes towards Kana. She tells her, "Let's go to where your beloved brother is." Shu prepares his gun one final time. He apologizes to Kana and fires his bullet at her, breaking her horns. She comes crashing down. As Shu falls down to reach her, magical energy begins to overflow the entire field. Asmodeus's arm comes again with Shu's mother, but gets instantly destroyed by Kisara. Kisara rushes towards Kana, stabbing at the center of the energy. Shu approaches her, but she just takes the spear and flies away to help with the other demons. The rest of the generals decide to treat Kisara as one of them since she is the only reason they were able to still survive. Ayano and Sharon approach her, and Kisara asks them what she should do now that she is living in danger because she is a demon in a human society. Does this world have a place for her? Ayano hugs her, telling her that she has nothing to worry about. Meanwhile, Shu is digging up his sister from the rubble, and she sees him and calls him her brother. He cries and hugs his sister, who hasn't been sealed away. In the following days, Kana is locked up until she grows up little by little. Sharon is ready to leave and tells Ayano that Shu made up with her by staying at a hotel with her all night. However, she is just joking. Shu visits his father and mother's graves and tells them that although he wasn't able to solve all the issues, he will continue to raise Kana and have a new beginning. At Miles's grave, there is the same pack of cigarettes he would also give Shu. Kisara walks back home with Shu, and she wishes for him to teach her all the memories she's lost. All the good things and bad things, the fun and sad times, how they met and ended up in this relationship. Shu promises to tell her everything bit by bit, over a long period of time. Shu asks her to come inside and tells her not to worry about anything. In the dark, Shu begins to kiss Kisara, hugging her tightly to himself. As they kiss, Kisara reaches for the door and they see his sister eating there. They point each other's spears at one another. Shu wishes for a person to come in to calm the situation. However, Ayano comes in and makes everything worse. Ayano points the gun at Kisara and Shu wonders who she really came to capture. Kana asks Shu whose side he's on. Shu isn't able to answer. They each point their weapons at each other, and the entire building explodes. Thank you guys for finishing this journey with me. This was a bittersweet adventure and had one of the best climaxes ever. If you want to see a darker anime, click on the video on the screen. Till next time.